for a movie called No Man's Land. Sure are a lot of bros in this movie. No Man's Land, released in 1987 and is directed by Peter Werner, who has also directed such films like Two Mothers for Zachary, Call Me Claus, I Married a Centerfold, and Mom at 16. And this movie is starring Charlie Sheen, D.B. Sweeney, and Randy Quaid. And the reason why we're talking about No Man's Land today is because it is a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my contributors and subscribers on this channel, James Filbury. A strike again. Thank you very much for the recommendation. It was a fun little 80s trip with this movie, so if any of you out there also want to be like James Filbury and help contribute and support this channel, you can make a PayPal donation by clicking on the donate button on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do, and if you have a movie that you really want me to review and give you a shout on the channel for, you can attach your movie with your donation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and publish my review of it as quickly as I possibly can. Benji Taylor is fresh out of the police academy in San Diego's police force, and he's one heck of a mechanic too. And because of these attributes, Lieutenant Vincent Bracey, played by Randy Quaid, assigns him to go undercover to discover who murdered a cop recently. And he's gonna infiltrate the car thievery and body shop empire of Ted Varick, played by Charlie Sheen. So he makes his way up the ranks, and Benji and Ted become best buds. But just like every undercover cop story, of course the secret gets spilled, and now their friendship is in jeopardy. And they're about to find out how difficult it is to be friends when one of them is a cop spying on you. The narration for every 80s movie ever. No Man's Land. Not only is it the name of my favorite Batman comic book run, Batman No Man's Land, it is this movie, and this movie is the definition of what the 80s were. Really big suits, really baggy button-up shirts that, you know, you see through and you leave the buttons undone all the way down to your belly button because that makes you look cool. And people who have the money have cars with cell phones attached to it, and when I say cell phones, I mean rotary phones that are attached by cord to your car. But it was so revolutionary back in the day. It was so cool. I don't even know, I wasn't alive for much in the 80s. It's really weird to go back and watch these 80s films and watch these people have this technology, these rotary phones in the car, and they're thinking they're just so cool. And then you come to nowadays and our cell phones are like this big and it has like the world on it. Time has changed things. Also, I'm pretty sure I've seen this movie before, but it wasn't called No Man's Land, it was called Point Break. And I've seen that movie before, it wasn't called Point Break, it was called Fast and the Furious. And what do all of those films have in common? They got family. But I guess this one came out in 87, and Point Break I believe was 91 or 92, and Fast and the Furious I believe was 2000 or 2001, so I guess No Man's Land was the first one to do it out of the three, so, you know, originality. It's just in my viewing history, it's the last one in the sequence of all of those films, so when I watch this movie I go, oh wow, this is so unoriginal, even though it was original at the time. Whatever, I'm not going to explain myself, this is my channel and this is my review. The movie is pretty fun though. It is cheesy and cheeky and stereotypical 80s everywhere, but it's still fun. B.D. Sweeney is that cool bra cop, and he hasn't been a cop for too long, so he doesn't have a lot of cop tendencies or know a lot about cop terminology, so it's easier for him to mold himself into this empire of some kind. That's the thing I wasn't getting from this movie. We're infiltrating this whole empire to figure out who killed this other cop from like weeks or months ago. But what is this empire? They steal cars, and Charlie Sheen's empire is in a rival empire gang war with another car-stealing empire. Is that a big thing? Maybe I'm just naive to everything and all the evilness in the world, I guess, because I wasn't understanding, like, really, this is a big deal? I mean, the movie confirmed a lot of my suspicions about the auto mechanic world and how they kind of give you a bunch of bullshit whenever you bring your car in. How long will it take you to do this thing to this car? Take me about a minute. Okay, well, we'll park it for 3 hours and then we'll charge him like $350. Okay, moving on. I'm like, I knew it. I knew all these mechanics are pieces of shit. They're all con artists, every single one of them. Here's a little tangent, not film related, but if we're talking about mechanics and this whole film is about mechanics, I had a little history of taking my car into the shop because the transmission was going kaput, and transmissions, of course, cost a lot. I get that, it's fine. But to take it into the shop, and just getting into the shop was just ridiculous, because I scheduled an appointment online to bring it in, and then when I got there, they're like, okay, well, we're not going to be able to get to it until next Friday, even though I had scheduled it to be done that day. Why do I need to schedule an appointment for you to tell me, okay, well, we'll have it done by next week? That doesn't make any sense to me. And then they worked on it, and then I got it back, and I went on a long trip, and I'm like, why is it really, really hot in here? Come to find out, the tube connecting, like, the coolant to the engine wasn't attached. It wasn't reattached. The mechanics failed to attach a fucking tube. So my engine was overheating like crazy. I was overheating in the car like crazy, all because the stupid fucking mechanic couldn't go like that after they were working on the engine. Dumbasses! Denoyer Chevrolet in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Never, ever, 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 ever go there. That was a nice little venting and a little tangent for myself, so thank you for indulging me. Now back to this movie. Charlie Sheen is Charlie Sheen. I don't know if he knows how to play any other character but Charlie Sheen, but it's definitely all Charlie Sheen here. And he's supposed to be this big crime lord that is supposed to be evil, but at first, we start liking him because we're following it through Benji's eyes, so we're getting into the hierarchy, and we're getting into his inner circle, and we're starting to like the guy. And then when he turns and starts being evil and finds out that, oh hey, Benji is a cop, actually, there's not that really big of a turn or switch that's clicked on in him to make me go, oh wow, yeah, he is super evil. I'm just not getting it. Why are we going after this guy? It doesn't seem like he is the cop killer, which is what Benji kept saying, which I was like, well, you're the undercover cop. Aren't you seeing your own biases with getting into his inner circle and liking your brand new best friend, your best buddy, best old pal, brah, dude? Don't you see that may be clouding your judgment? But, it's the 80s, whatever. And it all builds to a big gun shootout that ends the whole thing with no resolution at all. Seriously, there is a gun shootout, and then credits roll, and I'm like, what's gonna happen? What happens after this? We're just done here? Okay. Basically, the overall theme of this movie is surface level. Everything here is surface level, even though we're supposed to be a cop and going undercover and pulling out all of these different layers from this whole situation. Everything here is all surface level. There is no deep characteristics or thought contemplations at all. Everything is just on the surface, and it's just, here's a story, here's a plate of cookies, go ahead and enjoy. It's a fun, mindless cop undercover car story. Maybe I don't get the appeal of having a car. It's just I don't get it. Maybe that's why I'm not attaching to this movie as much as other people were. It's a fun time. I'm not really gonna remember it though in the next month or so. I'm gonna give No Man's Land 2.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I found that if you have a goal, that you might not reach it. But if you don't have one, then you are never disappointed. And I gotta tell you, it feels phenomenal. Alright everyone, now because my favorite part of my video is where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and the next movie is actually a movie I'm going to be picking for myself that I want to watch and I want to review. It was a movie that came out on Netflix last Friday, a movie called Red Notice. And why do I want to watch it? Well, because it's starring 3 very beautiful people. One in particular who is just the most beautiful in the world, and it's on Netflix, it's free with the subscription, and I don't see a lot of brand new movies right away because I'm still not okay with going to the theater with the whole pandemic thing. So I'm like, hey, new movie on release date? Yes, I'm gonna watch that. So we'll check out Red Notice next time. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, you can make a PayPal donation on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do. Just attach your movie recommendation with your donation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, give you a shout out on the channel, and get my review of it published as quickly as I possibly can. So guys, if you've seen No Man's Land, what did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, then comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you on the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Red Notice. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other,
and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.